Game to Love are back from their holidays and the tennis has never stopped. We're at Cincinnati Semi Final stage. We have Alcaraz on one side, Sinner on the other. Are they going to meet in the final? We have a few matches to go through. And of course, the whole of Cincinnati.
That's right. It is semi-final time in Cincinnati. This tournament doesn't ever disappoint, it seems. And one big story today, it's not even on the court, JG. It is, of course, the birthday of Jannik Sinner today. He is 24 years old today. Well done to him getting to another semi-final. He looks absolutely ridiculous on the court. Such good form. Let's take a little moment just to celebrate what he's achieved at 24 years old. 20 singles titles, 4 Grand Slam titles, 1 ATP finals, 4 Masters 1000s, 5 ATP 500s, and 6 ATP 250s, 2 Davis Cup champions, and world number 1 for over a year.
Yeah, and I don't know really where to start because we've not really been doing many podcasts. You've been busy recently. You've been on holiday and I've been very busy with work. I've not been able to have my holiday yet. And we've arrived here with our first podcast of Cincinnati at the semi-final stage. A lot has been missed. We have been watching. We will reference some of it. Apologies, we can't do more regular videos. Hopefully we can very soon in preparation for the US Open, which is on the horizon. But coming all the way to where we are right now in Jannik Sinner, he has been the standout performer yet again at this tournament. And when I say this tournament, I mean yet again on a hard court more so, because at Cincinnati, he's maybe not been the best player over the years. We've seen him lose here, the old version of Jannik Sinner. But this new Jannik Sinner on a hard court, I was watching him yesterday or the other day. It's just unplayable. I really do. I'm looking at it and Felix had no answers. There was times he was getting pushed really deep onto the baseline. Felix was, let's be fair, a player who used to always beat Jannik Sinner. I know you said off air he's never beaten, or Jannik Sinner's never beaten Felix before. Of course, that was a different time of tennis. And during that time, Felix was the guy. He was sort of pushing onto the top 10 and Sinner was a bit weak and struggling to get there. It's a whole role reversal now. When you look at that matchup, Felix is nowhere near the level of a Jannik Sinner. It's not even close. And it's not a really something to be too dismissive of Felix for, because Sinner, I think, is that good. And approaching the US Open, as much as we've missed a few podcasts, that my whole ideas and everything are the same. Jannik Sinner on a hard court is the player to beat. And I think Alcaraz has the ability to beat him. We've seen that recently. But even him, I think, is a little bit too much, a step too far on a hard court. And I think this kid is going to dominate. 24 years old, like you say, he's reaching his prime. I don't even know if we've seen the prime version of Jannik Sinner yet. He seems to be always getting better and stronger. And I'll be surprised if he doesn't win Cincinnati. I'll be surprised if he doesn't win the US Open. And I'm really looking to see who is going to be the player to beat him on a hard court.
Yeah, he's set out the stall, hasn't he? As it says on the screen here. Obviously, he's the reigning defending champion in Cincinnati, and his 9 consecutive wins there. It's 11 consecutive wins overall, 25 consecutive wins on hard courts as well. This is the big statistic. He's trying to catch the likes of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, all of these big win streaks on hard court. Murray's in there as well. And a 12th Masters 1000 semi-final. He just is so dominant. This performance against Felix was just electric. Yeah. Felix has been playing well. This is somebody who's made it to a quarterfinal of a Masters. You don't get there without playing good tennis and having good performances. He got bageled in the first set. And when I saw that, I just thought, there's just levels to the game, isn't there? And then, not only that, he started the next set by getting broken straight away. And I thought, oh, maybe Felix is going to turn up in the set. No, then he got essentially bageled again in the second set after going 2-love down. Just absolutely scintillating tennis. And one of the big things I think in this match against Felix, which should be noted, is how he turns any rally when it's a defensive position into an attacking shot. That is something hardly anybody can do on the tour. He gets pushed back on the court, yet his next shot has them scampering, and Felix just didn't know what to do with any of these shots. And as soon as the next ball comes back in from Felix, it's always a high bouncer mid-court, and you know where that's going, don't you? Put that one away, boom, into any corner he sees fit. He's just the best hardcourt player on tour by far. But like you say, Carlos Alcaraz can still beat him on a hardcourt. We've seen it before, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it again. But yeah, it's going to be a tough ask against this version.
Yeah, I mean, no one's really getting too close. It's difficult to take sets against Jannik Sinner. There's been players who have often got him to tie breaks in this tournament, I've seen. But he just has got that extra gear. And I think it was evident in this match. The moment he's down a break, he's like, okay, now I need to now go up a level. He's got that in the locker at his disposal when he needs it, that extra gear. And looking at the last time he lost, because I was fascinated myself, it was in Beijing against Carlos Alcaraz on the 2nd of October, 2024. The last time he lost on a hard court was then. He's trying to go a full year without losing on a hard court. I think he can do it because it's really tough to see anyone who can beat him. Carlos Alcaraz, he come through against Rublev, an inspired Rublev, a player who looked very determined to win. I thought Rublev showed some really good moments in that match. And I want to give him a little bit of credit because on his day, Rublev has shown he is a player who can beat anyone. We've seen him beat Nadal, Federer, Djokovic. Not many players can say they've been able to beat all of the big three players. Rublev is that guy. So on his day, let's not be too critical of him because he can, and he has shown that he can beat big players. And I thought he was very, very close here to beat Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz up and down at times, but got that unreal quality. And I was having a conversation actually yesterday with my dad about Carlos Alcaraz because people often will look at Alcaraz as a smaller player. He's not actually that small. He's 6'1".
Yep.
So because with his movement, it feels like it's a smaller player, like a small little Spaniard zipping around the court, the mobility of him. But he's actually relatively tall. In tennis terms, 6'1", probably around average. I wouldn't say he's a tall player by any means in tennis terms, but still, for that height, I think you just need to put that into perspective, and it just shows his overall package of a player. He isn't a beast, an absolute beast. The movement he can do with a 6'1" frame and the power, that's why he is up there with the very best players in the world.
Well, 6'1", same height as Nadal and the same height as Roger Federer. So in good company there with two legends of the game.
Did you think he was smaller than that, or was it just me?
No, it definitely. I see where you're coming from because he does give off that sort of smaller vibe when you see him on court. Obviously, he's fast, but then you see the other players are so tall. Like Zverev, what is he like 6'5"? You've got Medvedev 6'6". You've got obviously Opelka, nearly 7 foot tall. He does look shorter than other players, but it's like when you watch football on the TV. I don't know if you've ever had that when you've just been watching it when you were younger. When you go and actually see them in person on the actual pitch, you're like, oh my God, they're giants playing against each other. They're all about 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, crazy difference when you see athletes in person. God knows what it's like when you go and watch the NBA. I've never been, but that would probably be another experience for sure. Something I wanted to say about Sinner before we moved on is I wanted to ask like everybody who's watching or listening, this win streak for Jannik Sinner is obviously at 25. How many matches do people think he's going to get to in this win streak on hard courts? Because if he wins Cincinnati, that's going to be 27. If he wins the US Open, what's that going to be? 34? And then it's on to the indoor hard courts, essentially, which is his realm as well. It could be pretty hefty come the end of the year.
He lost in China. He lost in China to Alcaraz.
True, he might be playing there as well.
Yeah, and I don't. It's difficult to say.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm looking at it and I can't see. I don't know who's going to beat him on a hard court, but on his day, Carlos Alcaraz can. And I
Yes,
think that is
he
such a
really can.
close rivalry where there's not much separating them, if you're being totally honest. They bring out the best of each other. And I think you're going to see, I always see it as very 50-50. And with that in mind, Alcaraz, of course, can beat him sometimes, and other times he won't.
Yes.
So Sinner, I think, could lose his streak to a Carlos Alcaraz. The thing with Sinner is it's just difficult to see anyone else beating him.
Well,
Whereas
what
with
about his next one?
Alcaraz, it can happen.
What about his next opponent, who's been causing a stir in the tournament? And normally you'd see me probably predicting a 1, 2, 3, 4. If I did, I'd get this completely wrong. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 136, and that's who's left in the tournament. And this is the Frenchman, Terence Atmane, the smartest player on the tennis tour, the highest IQ, who's been asked about it yet again by Tennis TV in his interviews. And I'm not too sure I liked his answer in the last interview, because they said, "Oh, we're going to be seeing you again before his Holger Rune matchup." And he said, "Definitely, yeah, I'll see you again. See you on the next interview." Won that match comfortably. And fair play to Holger Rune. He came out and he said, "Yeah, I've known you since the juniors. Tennis is a tough journey. Happy for your run here and what it means for you in the future. Good luck moving forwards." But then he didn't have the same response when asked about, "Are we going to be seeing you again before the final against Jannik?" Well, after playing Jannik Sinner, he was sort of like, "We know how good Jannik is right now. I'm just going to go out there and sort of give it my best, really."
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's been a fun ride. I've made some money. I've got some points. I've had a good time. I've taken some lovely photos, met some nice people, had a good tournament. But
Beating
now
some good
it's my
players.
time to return back to France, if that's where he lives, um, or the next tournament. Probably stay in the US for that. Fantastic tournament he's had. Really
Yeah.
good player. I like him. I'm not surprised he beat Holger Rune. I kind of thought that could have happened. And obviously, because we didn't really give predictions before this tournament, it's no surprise who I would have gone for. It's not me saying it in hindsight. I would have said it. I think Ben will vouch for that as well. Jannik Sinner is my champion for this tournament. I just did not see another alternative, and I really did believe in him. And if you look at who he's beaten, I mean, yes, I'm glad you've put it up, because it is really, really tough. Caboli, Fonseca, Fritz, Runa, four of the very best young players in the world right now.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. We've seen them all do very well at Grand Slams. Fonseca's, we know what he is, a wild kid who's sort of not quite made it yet, and he's not made his big breakthrough, but we've seen him beat big players in slams. What's it? Hurkacz, Rublev,
Yeah.
I can remember. So fantastic results for him. I think he is the best on the hard court. This is his surface, and he's a dangerous player for the US Open, especially with his ranking. You'd think he's going to be an unseeded player for the US Open, and with that in mind, you will want to avoid him.
Yeah,
Or
I
maybe
definitely
will he
will.
be seeded? Probably not.
I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, if he wins this semi-final, it would be insane. Obviously, he said it's insane. I can't believe it. It's a
Yep.
lot of money for me. I think it was around about $240,000 he's going to get for this performance in the semi-final, which is crazy. When you think you struggle all year long on the Challenger Tour, just trying to. A lot of the players, I think I saw. I think John put out a video on Talking Tennis, just talking to Summit Nagel. And he said for 10 years of his career or something, he's made a loss. It's like, that's how insane it is. When you're playing in the lower ranked events, like, you will be making losses in a lot of these tournaments. So for him, after beating Taylor Fritz in America, I thought was incredible. That, and then to follow that up by beating Holger Rune, who's back to some good form. He's just playing lights out tennis, though. That's what we like to see from somebody. He's not just gone within his shell and just think, "Oh, the nerves are getting to me." He's just gone, "Sod it. I'm here once. I'm just going to go for every shot." He's a bit of a crafty player, a lefty. Yeah, his forehand, unreal pace. You
Yeah,
know, getting near it.
yeah, good player. Likes the hard courts for sure. But I don't see him beating a Jannik Sinner. I don't think he thinks he can either.
And this was quite interesting as well about him. Obviously, he has no clothing sponsor, no shoe sponsor, and no agent. And they said that won't be the case for long. And I didn't realize the reason for this as well, that he was actually sponsored by ASICS, but they dumped him after he walked out on court carrying Nike shoes in one tournament. Yeah.
Oh, right. I didn't know that
Terrible.
either.
Yeah,
Interesting.
terrible thing. And he actually, I've seen other quotes from him, and he said it's fair enough, to be honest. Done it, like, obviously made a big mistake, and just lost his sponsor. So maybe he'll get some good luck from this tournament, get a new sponsor, and hopefully we see him as the smartest player on tour.
Well, that's what I mean. Someone with that high IQ, he's not done a very clever move there, is he? I mean, he showed himself up a little bit, but it just goes to show that mistakes can happen, and even one of the smartest people in the world can make these kind of mistakes.
Yeah, he did something interesting after his match as well. I think that they're obviously asked to write something on the camera and that type of thing, aren't they? And then he, instead of doing like a standard thing like "see you in the semis" or something, he wrote like a philosophical quote or something from something he'd been watching recently about the universe or something. So maybe there is the high IQ shining through there. And he just wanted people to go away and have a look, educate themselves on it, that type of thing. So that's interesting that he's got a different take after winning a match. Wanted to educate people. So interesting.
Yeah, and on the other side of things, we have
Yeah.
Sasha Zverev. He beat the man in form, Benjamin Shelton, who's looking really good right now. He was on a really good streak. I don't have it to hand, but he was winning a lot of matches. Did well in the tournament prior, winning that one. And the streak is ended by Zverev in comfortable fashion as well. And Zverev did say that, he had a few problems in the second set. I know he had a medical timeout at 2-love up. I don't really look too much into it. I think it's probably to do with the heat more than anything. Doesn't seem to be like a muscle or a physical problem. Probably just a little bit tired. But yeah, fantastic for Zverev, who is also playing extremely well at this time of the year. We like him towards the back end of the year. Roland Garros, one of his best slams. US Open, another one he's extremely good at. He's come very close to winning both of them now. Is he going to win the US Open? Can he beat a Jannik Sinner on form? It's interesting. I wouldn't say no 100%. I feel like he is one of the few people who, on his day, is very difficult to beat as well. I would say he's a better player than Ben Shelton on his day. And I think that's what we've seen here. Ben Shelton, for me, though, a lot of it was probably just fatigue, playing a lot of matches, difficult to maintain that. He was extremely good, actually, Ben Shelton, in the round before. So I'm not that surprised he lost. Jose says Shelton hit the wall, not surprising. Zverev having a good summer post-Nadal Academy experience.
Maybe this could be the thing that turns it all around for Sasha Zverev. Obviously, he's been there and trying to deal with a lot of problems with, I think, his mental health and mental struggles since losing in such convincing fashion to Jannik Sinner at the Australian Open. And Uncle Tony seems to be the guy who's putting his arm around Sasha Zverev now. And it seems to be working because we've seen Zverev very up and down in his results. And this might give him some confidence because I think this is one of the tournaments which would have helped him like get back to what we know he's best at. And he's now able to reach Cincinnati Semi Finals for 4 consecutive appearances. And he's in line there with Michael Chang, Djokovic, Jimmy Connors, Edberg, Verlander, Roddick, and Boris Becker. So he loves this tournament. And I think this was probably the perfect storm, really. Going away, sorting your head out, coming back to a tournament where you're really good anyway, and now putting on some, like, probably his best performance in the quarterfinals. Sorry. So now he's ready for Carlos Alcaraz.
But I've seen this version of Zverev play at this level, and then whenever he plays a Sinner or an Alcaraz, or often even a Djokovic, he just loses. He just doesn't have what it takes. And every time I'm like, oh, if that's Zverev who we've just seen all this tournament, if he plays like that against them, he just can't. He really can't. And he is gonna, if he doesn't win a slam, he will go down as the best player to ever play tennis to not win a Grand Slam. You look at his stats; it's insane. I mean, he's reached 22 Masters Semi Finals. He's had 56 career top 10 wins. this is really ridiculous numbers, extremely consistent numbers over such a long spanning career. And he's not finished yet either. I thought you'd think you've still got, I don't know how many years left as Zverev, more than 5 years, you'd think, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
And is he going to win a slam? It's all down to that now, because you can keep doing all these things, but these two players here in the picture, in Alcaraz and Sinner, they've got his number, and so does Djokovic.
Well, I think out of everybody, if he'd be preferring to play one of those three players, I think he would pick Carlos Alcaraz, because he has had decent results against him in the past, especially in big matches, and he leads their head-to-head 6-5.
US Open, right? He beat him that time.
He beat him at the Australian Open. He's beaten him at
Oh, no,
what was the other? Roland Garros. Yeah, there you go. But it was Carlos who beat him at the US Open in the quarterfinal.
It was Australian Open, which surprised me, that one.
Yep. So and he won their last match as well, which was obviously on indoor hard court, which is more Zverev's realm. The last match,
Alcaraz, his head was gone by that point. He was doing all the six king slam, all of that stuff, exhibitions. He weren't playing his proper stuff.
Yeah, it was a busy year, as it always seems to be for Carlos.
He checks out in October.
But the way that the results have been for him in this tournament, little bit up, little bit down, it's not been that convincing from Carlos, but it doesn't mean he can't raise his level on the next match and then we see him beat Zverev in straight sets. That could happen also. But Zverev's serving very well. And if he serves well, he's always got a chance in any of these matches. So I don't know if you want to go to like a prediction for this one first. I think this is probably the tougher one to call, if I'm honest, unless anybody thinks there's something dramatic's going to happen in the other one. But this one, is the real main tough picker. So I think I'm going to be going. It is really difficult, but I think I'm probably going to go for Alcaraz in 3, though. I think that there will be a little bit of a problem with Zverev come the third set. Like you said, he's been struggling with the conditions a little bit, and I think that will play a factor, and Carlos will just get it over the line after probably losing the first set in a tiebreak.
I agree with you completely, Ben. I'm not going to say anything more. I think it's going to go exactly like that, and I think Zverev will get swanned in the third set, 6-2 Alcaraz in the third.
Like a good swan. And
swan.
Let me see if I can bring up an image for the other one. I think I've found one. And then we'll get the other two on the screen. Here we go. Sinner and Atmane. First of all, how do you see Atmane coming out for this match? Do you see him going into his shell? Do you see him just trying to go all-out attack? What tactics do you reckon he's going to try to unsettle the world number one?
I don't think it's going to be that dominant in the sense of it's not going to be like the Felix match. I feel Atmane might hold his own a bit more because he's going to play probably more explosive, more free, with zero expectation. He's going to lose. It will be straight sets, but maybe there'll be a tie break in one of the sets. That's what I'm going to give to Terence Atmane, a tie break loss.
Generous of you.
It's generous.
Yeah. Manarino took him to a tiebreak. Diallo took him to a tiebreak.
There you go. And I think this is a tiebreak loss. It's got one of the sets being like that, but Sinner will win in straight sets. And that's the case as well.
I don't think we're even going to see a tiebreak. I think we're probably going to see a 4 and a 2 or something like that. I think it'll be a close set, singular break, second set, utter domination from Jannik Sinner. And I think Atmane will know his time is up. I've just managed to find, just before we wrap up, this was the thing that I was speaking about earlier that he wrote on the camera after his win against Holger Rune. And it is Fermi's paradox as well. He did a question mark and an exclamation mark. So this is what it says here. Somebody has wrote a comment saying, loved it. Fermi's paradox asks, if the universe is so big, why haven't we found other intelligent life? Same vibe here. We didn't expect to find the world number 136 in a Masters 1000 semi final after beating 2 top 10s. Yet here he is.
Yeah, I'm too stupid to really comment on anything more here, and I think the viewers already know that. So I'm not going to try and speak about any kind of paradoxes on this episode. But one thing to end with, I just want to highlight it is some Jannik Sinner and Alcaraz stats. I sent it to you,
Okay, let me
and
bring that up.
I do like it, but let me find it.
No problem.
Where is it? Here we go. And this is Carlos Alcaraz now has a win rate of 78.1% in Masters 1000 events, surpassing Roger Federer for the outright third best player. So you've got Nadal 82%, Djokovic 81.5%. And you'd think that Djokovic's one's only going to fall if he plays them, because with this in this current climate with these two players, it's going to be tough, I think, for Djokovic to end on number one. But with Alcaraz and Sinner, certainly, I wouldn't be surprised if they come for that Djokovic and probably Nadal as well, because they're so dominant and good. But they're going to have to lose to each other. So that will sort of ruin it a little bit for them. They'll have to start playing Masters where one of them's not in there just to try and do well. But Sinner, they're 76.3%. And this is, I think, the 5 best players we've seen.
Yeah, definitely. They are
Definitely
right
in the open era. In the open era.
I'd like to know where Murray was on that list, but maybe there's an extensive one that someone can add him in there. Hopefully he's down there in 6th or something, but I guess we'll never know. Yeah, that obviously Sinner probably had some worse results at a younger age, but now he's an absolute machine. And yeah, you're not playing with that old Jannik Sinner anymore. You're playing with the new one. I really hope we get the final. Let us know who you think is going to be in the final in the comments below. Let us know the results, and we'll see you probably for a final preview and some reactions to these as well.
Let us know the results, did you say? Yeah. If you know the results, let me know now, because I'll put a bet on and we'll make loads of money together.
Please. I would love to know.
Don't worry, we've not forgot the women. There's loads to speak about. Ben did say at the beginning that the reason we're not doing the women on this one is because it is so much to talk about. We'd have to do a whole new episode dedicated to what's going on the WTA. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you very soon for more tennis action.